Hello and welcome to my class. I'm Grolin Annesley from ThinkMo Education. I'm currently a Cisco Technological lecturer. If you like my video, welcome to my study group. Or contact my teaching assistant. WhatsApp account is +6 5834444290. Today's topic is the basic concept of network. An OSI 7-layer basic model. Before starting class, let me first introduce to you. Actually, what we learn in the CCNA stage is relatively simple. We are more focused on an understanding of the basic framework of the network and some simple commands. For example, assign an address, run a simple protocol, knock some simple VLANs, including ACL and NAT, which we will cover in the last lesson. Then let's practice typing a configuration. More than that, I hope everyone can lay a good foundation. Okay. We are now officially starting classes. Today we are more focused on knowledge of network infrastructure. That is the basic concept of the network. And a brief introduction to the OSI 7-layer model. First, I hope you all know. We now learn the main purpose. In fact, it revolves around 1. Communication of overall data, or network communication. For example, let's take a relatively simple question. For example, this is my device on the left, the teacher's computer. I connected to the server of the teaching platform. I'm giving a lecture. You may be listening to my lecture on your phone or computer. Is that actually understandable now? Here are the students. I'm equivalent to right now from my device. Produced a data. I use the teaching platform to generate a data. So in the future this data, with the help of the network we have already built, pass it on to the students. So what we call data communication actually means I have generated a data on one of my devices. The future relies on our overall network. The process of sending to everyone's side. We call this process network communication. In fact, this process, it's very similar to sending a courier. I will send you a courier. Then after I pack the courier with intermediate logistics, the process of reaching the hands of the students, we call it data communication. But for us, everyone will find, overall it sounds simple. I send a data and you receive it. But what we have to learn is, why do you receive? Why does my device generate a data you can receive? That's like a courier. Why after packing, hand over to our logistics center, it can reach its destination? This will tell us a framework problem of the overall network. So let's start with the basics today. Explain our current online world. We call it a world where everything is connected. How is it made up? Let's take a look together. Give a relatively simple example. We will draw later. If I now draw a picture like this sideways, then draw a device on my behalf. This device is called a switch. Today we will not talk about its communication principle. Just follow my rhythm. For example, let's take a small company as an example. So as a company, these squares I'm drawing now is a PC. We have a lot of office staff. In the future, many employees will use such a computer. Let's set up a simple network for it first. In the future, we will pass the network cable one by one. Connect it to the intermediate switch. This forms a minimal network. Just this network. We say it can only communicate within the network. We can't go online. But we also formed a network. That is to say, everyone will find out in the future. Between my computer. If you want to communicate with each other, we have to connect. That is, we have to insert a network cable in the middle. In other words, I want to communicate between my devices. I want to make sure this device is near me. Or we want to connect. So we will go through some lines in the future. We pass some relays in the middle. That is based on such a relay device plus a link. Realize the interconnection between our end devices. That's basically after we've made the connection. Internet connection between PC and PC. This is our small network structure. A network range like the one I'm drawing now. It is a lot. That is, for each of our companies. In fact, we can all set up such a small local area network. That is to say, there are many companies, like the ones we mentioned earlier. Every company. In fact, it is the same networking process. Then I will copy it a few. This is equivalent to many companies around the world. They are all like this. Then we have to think about a question now. According to a question we just mentioned. Between each company, I both buy some switches like this. Such a device. Then buy some network cables. We connect the terminals together. Between each company PC and PC. They are able to communicate. But now the problem. Each of our companies. If they all form a separate network. Between my company and the company. Will there be a need for mutual visits? Think about this. For example, let me give a simple example. Suppose the company on the far right. Company C. Then it's not a PC. Suppose this is a server of company C. Then for them, how a company makes money is to open their web services to the outside world. That is, I don't care whether it's advertising or anything else. In short, for the user, I just give them access. That is between our company. There is a need for mutual visits. That's the problem now. As we just said, between businesses. If we were really just building alone, a small local area network, such a network range, that actually my business. Companies cannot communicate with each other. That's the network of each of our companies. In fact, the future needs to be connected. For example, as a server of C company, there are people from all over the world who want to visit company C. But its companies are not everywhere. How to connect between different companies? You can't directly pull a network cable or an optical fiber. I am connecting from my device to company C's device. Certainly not. So how do we connect now? We now seem to. I can't handle it myself. Then there is a new business. This new business is the operator's business. When will everyone learn IE in the future? Our many courses, or a lot of technology, will be aimed at the operator's environment to deploy the network. So everyone must know. In the face of the time when we are now surfing the internet, we use the carrier's internet. The internet is run by the nation, or deployed and built by operators all over the world. We call it ISP. Our country's largest electronic information operator. All have the right to build the overall network. Purchase equipment, laying line construction equipment. Everything they have. Such infrastructure. So say. We are now actually. All operators' networks are used. What is the operator doing? They actually do the same job as a courier company. I will give you a simple example. You want to send a courier from area A. Or you want to send something from area A to area B. Then you have two options. One is that you fly, holding this thing. Sit all the way to area B. Hand over to the opponent. The other one is that you can hand it